Alright then guys, bonjour from Mons in Belgium. I'm here for a Challenger Tour PSA 3K tournament, and I'm going to be taking a bit of a deeper dive than I usually do into my matches. So watch and have a look at my analysis and how I get on in this tournament. Wish me luck. So guys, as I'm seeded 5th for this tournament, I actually received a first round bye this morning, but I headed down to the club anyway just to get a feel of a new club, a new court, just to see how it was. Every court is different how it plays. Some courts are bouncier than others. When you boast the ball off the sidewall, you quite often get a different reaction on different courts. So I just headed down to experience those things to get ready for my match later today, which is going to be at 3 PM. I'm playing Stephen Hurst, world number 278. And yeah, first match of the tournament. You like to get your rhythm, get hitting the ball, find your lines, find your lengths. I like to work on just hitting through the ball, feeling fluid in my swing. And iron out any cobwebs that you might have from travelling or something like that, and yeah, loosen up, try and get into the match as quickly as possible, and yeah, just hit my marks. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna relax a little bit now and then head to the club for my match later. Okay then guys, so basically what I've done is I've picked out the key moments from this match, and I'm gonna just analyse it with you. I've made some notes, so yeah, let's just give it a go. I'm gonna try and do it all in one take. Anyway, here I'm starting my match against Stephen Hurst, and yeah, so let's get into it. So yeah, at the start of the match, I just I look to try and find my length, hit through the ball, get the ball to the back, and also take in some simple attacks, like you saw that backhand drop near the start of the rally. Don't try and do anything expansive, I don't personally, and yeah, I just look to create pressure, usually to the back. That was a bit loose from me. I got a let ball there, but that probably should have been a stroke, to be honest. But yeah, I got away with that one. So yeah, I mean, it's the first, that's quite nice. It's the first match of the tournament, so might be feeling the nerves a little bit. That volley drop to win the match, win the point, sorry, will definitely settle my nerves a bit. And yeah, I try and get on the ball early at the front, hit the ball past him. Yeah, so we then, this is at so this is about 2-0 to me. We had a couple of longer rallies, ending with some tins from him. Now, I back my fitness pretty highly at this level, so usually I don't worry too much about the extended rallies. Like there, you've seen him force the boast into the tin there. So yeah, I mean, I then decided to apply some more pressure and try and win with a couple of quicker rallies after having hurt him physically. So yeah, this took me to about 7-3 up in this first game. Yeah, so I've forced another error from him there. What I then noticed actually was that I'd built this lead, and I'd slightly just started to lose my length. This is why you can see him putting me under a bit of pressure here, not getting my lines through to the back. Ended up, that probably should have been a stroke. I think the ref gave a let, but yeah, so he's then able to step up around the middle and volley because I'm not quite getting the ball through to the back. Haven't read that there. I've tried to hunt for that volley, but miscalculated. I've jumped onto the backhand when he's at a boast. So yeah, I mean, after building the lead, I felt like I had more freedom to attack. but ended up going short too early and not earning the right to go short. Usually you try and build the rallies to the back first before you take the ball in. That's not always the case. If a ball's loose, you've got to go for it, but you can create chances by hitting nice deep balls to the back and forcing a weaker shot from your opponent that you can then pounce on. But yeah, I opened up the court a little bit too much and let him back in to about 7-all. So yeah, I then decided to focus on getting my length right, hitting through the ball, using more height out of the front if I need to. And yeah, I decided to use my movement to attack into the front. As you can see there, I mean, I just clipped the tin, but that is positive play from me. It was the right shot, so you've got to try and clear that out of your mind. When you've hit the right shot and it's just clipped the tin, you can't shy away from those shots. You have to keep putting them in, trusting that you've done the work in training to be able to nail that more than you miss. But yeah, the length improving allows me to then take on shots like that into the front, where I've moved Stephen's tee position backwards because he's expecting a good length, so I get more chances into the front like that. Simple straight drop to finish, and yeah, I can use my speed to attack onto that, and I won the first 11-6. Starting the second, I'm fresh and eager to push up and volley, and I've tried to cut off balls that were slightly too tight. It's a balance between pressure and also just sort of relaxing a bit and finding your marks. So yeah, I've ended up dragging the ball towards me a couple of times like this, giving away a stroke, when I just needed to recognise, okay, I want to volley, but that ball's too tight, so I'm going to let it go to the back and reset. He then did let me in with a cheap error, and I guessed a bit lucky there to go 2-all. I mean, I softened up nicely into that drop, to be fair, but it was a bit of a guess. So yeah, the good start by him, almost by luck, I've managed to negate and get back to 2-all. So I then noticed that slightly weak movement into the front right there, which was interesting, so I decided to target that area immediately just to sort of test him out. And you can see I've just put it back into the front right there, and he struggled again. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's an injury there, but you don't want to let that consume your mind. You have to just play your game. If the ball's available to put it into the front, I'm going to take it like that and just test him out. So I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? He's not quite moving into the front very well. Anyway, these attacks into the front ended up giving me a 5-2 lead from 2-love down. So yeah, I did well to build the lead again. I think he noticed that I'd worked out his movement weaknesses, because I sensed a bit of a mental drop-off from him and his body language. I could sort of see his head had gone down, so I took this opportunity to step up the court and apply the pressure. Here you can see I'm cutting off balls, hitting in kills on the volley. He tried to break my momentum, I guess, and reset himself mentally, I think just after this rally, by tying up his shoelace. It's quite a clever tactic, I guess. If things aren't going your way, you just need a mental reset. Just untie and retie your shoelace. But anyway, I was already a bit too far ahead at this point, and I closed out the game 11-6. I've decided to include a little bit of this footage in between games. Basically, I put my GoPro on the back wall on the door to film these matches. So sometimes when the door's open between games, you can actually see a bit out of the court like this. So here you can see me with my dad. I grabbed my water bottle straight away, but I have to always remind myself not to drink immediately, because your heart's still racing, you're breathing quickly, and when you're taking big gulps of water, your heart rate actually stays high. You need to give yourself a good 20-30 seconds to relax a bit. So I then go to the towel, wipe my face a bit because I sweat a lot, and then I can start having a bit of a drink. I'm discussing tactics with my dad. I wasn't quite feeling the short game, so he's just saying to relax and just let my shoulder go and let the arm go and just trust that I know what I'm doing. Heading into the third, you want to apply pressure straight away, especially when you're 2-love up, just to negate any chances that they think they can come back in. I've tried to create some quick chances to build an early lead, and yeah, as I said, it delivers a bit of a mental blow to your opponent if you can go up early in the game, because it makes them feel like it's going to be a very long way to come back and win, especially when they know that you're quite a physical player and you've got the fitness to go the distance. So yeah, with his head dropping, I ended up getting some cheap errors from him and a couple of strokes. This is then match ball, where I've tried to put him under pressure, but I've ended up over-attacking, leaving too many loose balls into the front for him to counter-attack and put me on the back foot. As it's match ball, I'm pushing hard to get everything back and eventually get a bit lucky with a drop shot into the front left, which forces a weak return from him, giving me an opening to finish the rally. But I just thought I would say, can you notice what I've done before hitting the winner, which aided my shot selection to hit that win in the match? Go back and just watch it if you didn't see it on the first time. But just have a quick look what I'm doing just as I'm about to play that last shot. We can discuss this in the comments if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, but just have a little look. Yeah, it's an interesting, another little thing you can use in your matches that you might not have thought of. I'm now going to switch back to my Belgium footage with my immediate reaction after that first round match with Stephen.
Finished about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, decent performance. I mean, I wasn't quite feeling the short game. Like, I was able to hit through the ball like I wanted, and I found my length quite easily. But then I was just a bit tentative on those drops, not really letting the arm go. Like I was setting up properly, just not releasing. So it ended up a bit tense, popping up the drops a little bit. But that's just ongoing stuff that I'm working on technically, and just having the confidence just put it in, because in the solos and in my training, I can slot it away. It's just translating that into a match, and I'm trying to get better at. But actually, for the first time today, after the match, instead of cooling down on the bike for half an hour, I actually did half an hour of solo, improving my drops, and my dad came on as well to feed me. And I think that might be the way forward, like for me to make that next level of being able to just put the ball away under match conditions, because at the end of the match I'm still like buzzing from the match. I've still got that adrenaline, and to be able to just soften up with the hands, pair that like hit hard then soft, like it's tricky switching between the two. So yeah, I think I found like a new training method for me. Straight after the match, instead of cooling down on the bike, I'm going to cool down soloing or just practicing those drops. But yeah, nice to get the first match out of the way. I think everything should become a lot looser now, a bit relaxed. Like, you always tense going into a tournament, but that first match should have calmed me down a little bit. So yeah, I'm just going to get some food in me, watch my opponent now, because there's a match going on in a bit, and I'll be playing the winner of that tomorrow in the quarterfinals. So yeah, hopefully, well, I'm sure that analysis probably lines up with how I'll analyse the match back on the YouTube video. Not quite sure I'm going to do it yet, but it should be alright. Anyway, yeah, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next round. Let's go. So guys, that match that's just started there is the match that I will be the winner of tomorrow. So before I waste too much time chatting to this, I'm going to get back and watch it. But yeah, I'm just looking out for certain tells that might help me tomorrow. I'm going to look at the movement, certain technical things that might help me, tactically how they play, and mentally the kind of stuff that they deal with, see how they deal with refs' decisions, fitness levels, speed into certain areas of the court. So these are all the things that you've got to look for when you're analysing your opponents. But anyway, I'm going to get back to it. Well guys, that was an interesting one actually. So Rowan Damming ended up winning that match. He's the one seed for this event, world number 111. So yeah, I'm going to be playing Rowan tomorrow, and yeah, it was interesting. I picked up a few things. I don't want to give too much away, to be honest, but tactically I've got a pretty solid game plan for tomorrow, one that I think I can implement and have a really good chance of taking out the top seed. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But anyway, I'm in the centre of Mons right now, the town that I'm staying in, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It's quite old. It was actually quite influential during the World Wars, situated on the border of Belgium and France. German troops in World War I actually captured Mons in the first few weeks of it, and Mons was only recaptured by the Allies, by Canadian forces actually, in the last week of World War I. So this was all German for 4 years during World War I. But anyway, back to the tournament. Yeah, solid game plan for tomorrow. I'm going to get a good night's rest, practice hit in the morning, and then I'm playing Rowan at 6. So come on, let's go take him out. Okay then guys, it's the morning of my quarterfinal match. I had a big bowl of pasta last night and slept well, so I'm feeling good. I'm not on it till this evening, so that means I've got time this morning to head to the club and have a bit of a practice hit. I'm going to bring my dad along as well to give me some feeding, and yeah, just groove my shots, and I'll see you on the court. I'll explain to you the kind of stuff that I would do as a little warm-up hit in the morning before a big match in the evening. Alright, yeah, so just meet me in the front half, as I was saying.
Yeah, okay.
Alright. Alright guys, so this is my morning practice with my dad. I was filming and just trying to get moving, warm up my body a little bit before a match later tonight. Working on getting fluid swing, hit through the ball. Show if I'm getting accurate or not, where the ball's going. Not that one. Again. Don't sound lucky. So yeah, I'm just like getting my rapid speed, hit through the ball, moving around, getting the body moving early in the morning. Yeah, I might just show you actually. I was chatting yesterday about how the court has some like little quirks and stuff. I'm just going to show you. Check this out. Up and down here, like cracks. If you hit the ball so straight, it's going to hit that, come out, and yeah, on the front wall and stuff like this. But I mean, all courts are different. I've never seen a perfect squash court in my life. So yeah, it's not anything against the club. It's a class that they've put on a tournament. But yeah, you can see little things like this in the back wall as well. Sometimes it can like jut out at an angle, but these are all the things that you've got to deal with. Well done guys, I'm now on my way to my quarterfinal match with Rowan Damming. Feeling good, feeling solid. I'm anticipating quite a long match, to be honest. Just from what I've seen with our playing styles and stuff, I think we'll clash nicely. It'll be 60 minutes plus, but I'm ready. I've got my electrolytes, got my nutrition sorted, all my carbs, my salts, so yeah, I'm feeling good, and yeah, let's do this, come on. Right then, here we go. Here's the opening rally of my quarterfinal match with Rowan Damming. So, yeah, similarly to my match with Stephen, I'm just looking to find my marks, hit through the ball. I actually did 10 minutes of solo before this match to try and aid my racket work for the start of the game, as I wasn't too pleased with particularly my short game against Stephen. So yeah, here as you can see, I'm taking it in confidently with those drop shots, which yeah, I'm not used to doing actually at the start of matches. So I think a little 10-minute solo before each match that I play will be the way to go. But I'm trying to use height here, just get the ball to the back. Height and pace, just mix it up. I feel like he plays quite well at medium pace.
so I wanted to try and either hit hard to the back or hit high to the back. Obviously you end up hitting some medium pace balls as well, but just trying to find my length like I have there, then take the ball on the volley. And yeah, quite a long opening rally, but I've managed to force the error from him early on, which is always promising at the start of the match. This actually continued for the start of the game, and I ended up building a 4-love lead, which was great. Kind of unexpected. As my confidence grew, I took in some shots like that from the back wall just to test his movement out, make him know that I'm not just going to hit length all the time. I've got skills off the back wall as well. I can then end up showing that drop shot from the back and pushing it deep, which makes my length even more effective. Here I've lost my length a little bit. He's cutting me off. Yeah, I've written in my notes I lost my accuracy and allowed him to capitalise with a couple of shutouts to the back, and also a couple of strokes as well that have come off the back of a loose ball from me. So yeah, I told myself that I needed to do the basics well and find my line and length again. So yeah, that's what I tried to do. I mean, here he's still volleying me, keeping me behind him. He's doing well there to not let me get the ball to the back. I've had to lift, scramble behind him, and there it is, eventually giving away the stroke. But yeah, I ended up, once that had happened, I knew I couldn't leave the ball around the middle because he was good at taking his strokes. So I decided I had to knuckle down, try and hit some better lines and lengths, and I actually ended up squeezing him a few times by hitting tight lines down the backhand here, as you can see, and I forced a few errors from him off of the back of long rallies, and this actually took me to a 8-5 lead. Now, after gaining some confidence from the lead that I built, I ended up opening the court up a little bit too much. Here the accuracy is still good. He's looking to cut me off, I'm looking to do the same. It's pretty evenly matched, just both of us not quite finding our length at times. Yeah, cross courts are okay. There I'm showing the short ball and hitting long. But yeah, all the rallies were long. I mean, there weren't many short rallies because we were both quite good at retrieving. It was cat and mouse squash, and yeah, eventually forced another error out of him there. But yeah, I mean, after gaining that confidence of being 8-5 up, I ended up, I tried to play more freely when I probably should have stuck more to playing the simple squash well, which is what was working, because coupled with maybe a mini lapse in concentration, those kind of shots there come in where you just hit it a little bit too loose, and as you go up in the levels they're going to be jumping straight on you for strokes like this. Like, if you don't quite hit your lines, you're going to give away strokes. So yeah, Rowan did well, he dug in, he clawed his way back to 8-all. So now back to even Stevens. I mean, the first game is very crucial, so we're both not trying to give too much away. This means it can get a little bit scrappy, some more decisions like this, where he's able to take a stroke. And yeah, I mean, I think there might have even been another decision here, but it was given as a let, and we replayed the rally. So yeah, I was I was thankful that was given as a let. Annoyingly, one of the rallies I ended up hitting, yeah, so that was, somehow they gave that as a stroke. I'm trying to explain to them that the ball is on his right hand side. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of that one. Go back and have a look at it. It's clever from him, but honestly the ref should have seen that. But anyway, I was explaining on yesterday's part of the video when in my practice hit with my dad about how the court had a few quirks, and the back wall specifically, where it joins with the side wall, it's not quite sealed properly, and sometimes the ball can go into that area and come out jagged at a really funny angle. So it's a shame that at such a crucial moment like this that it happened. But he's gonna hit it at some point. But anyway, let's keep watching for a little bit. Yeah, so I'm trying to push up. That was actually, so yeah, I fought my way actually to 11:10, and that was my chance to finish off the rally, but I snatched at it and just made the tin. So yeah, at that point he had match ball and he ended up hitting that join that I was just saying, which was pretty frustrating. That said, I can take some positives from that game, and I knew exactly the game plan that I needed to implement in game 2. I knew I needed more attention to detail with regards to my accuracy and where the space was on the court. And yeah, with a balance of proactivity and precise line hitting, I paired good length with subtle straight attacks like this one here, that eventually led to some poor unforced errors from him, to be honest. I just created that. It's that accumulation of pressure that it looks like they've just hit a terrible shot, but it's actually come off the back of continued pressure from you. Yeah, there again, nice straight attacks. He's getting them back, but I just got to trust that over time these attacks will take some energy out of his legs. I'm pushing up, looking busy, but still trying to be accurate with my shots. It's a balance between charging around quickly but controlled, in a manner that you can still play proper shots. So yeah, here again, a very long rally, typical of this match, to be honest. And there it was, there's the cheap error. Now I back myself to stay mentally in it longer than most opponents, and an error like that just gives me even more confidence that I can keep pushing forward. Now there I've hit the join, so it's 1-1 on joins now. So yeah, I mean, you take that. Pretty pleased with that one. Anyway, throughout the game I continued my accuracy to the back. I lifted when I needed to, when I was under any pressure, and I went for just a simple straight drop winner when the opportunity arose. Yeah, see, look, I've lifted there when I've almost fallen over. Lift again, he's volleying. I probably should have lifted there, but I smacked it out and he's ended up volleying. Here, nice straight attack, and yeah, finished off the rally. After some successful straight attacking winners, other spaces started opening up on the court, and I was able to do that little cross-court flick that you just saw. Now, that comes off the back of setting the trap throughout the rest of the game. Instead of hitting just a normal straight drop like I have for the rest of the game, that last minute flick of the wrist hitting the space away from the opponent allowed me to win that rally. Then a couple of nice winners, backhand cross-court nick and then backhand volley drop, allowed me to equalise, winning that game 11-4. So I went into the third game full of confidence that I had a winning strategy. I built the first point nicely, but I accidentally just clipped the tin when I was going for a winner. But this is actually the second rally, where I close it out with a nice length to the back. And yeah, I mean, it's still, it looks pretty close, but it's just these subtle things like that winner there. There's just a little bit better length can make the difference in these matches. And yeah, he then goes on to get a stroke in this rally after this one, and he's hit a couple of good winners as well to go, and we sort of go point for point all the way up until about 4 all. And yeah, I mean, as the rallies were getting tighter, we were having even more refereeing decisions, which became quite frustrating throughout the match. But it's the way that things go when you're so closely matched. But yeah, I mean, I think the ref was beginning to realise that my opponent was looking for a few easy strokes, because he started giving a few more lets eventually. But to be honest, if I'm giving him a chance to jump on my back and get a stroke, that's my fault anyway. I've hit a loose enough ball for him to do that. It seems frustrating at the time, but I mean, it is actually your fault. You've just got to close the court down and be more accurate than your opponent. I'm still going for my shots, but then one loose ball and that's it, end of rally. So squash is tricky sometimes with regards to those kind of decisions. This is what I'm saying about he started getting lets. I mean, he really should be playing that, I think. I don't know, let me know what you think about that, but we're trying to encourage people to play the ball in squash now, I guess. Anyway, I constructed a couple of pretty clever rallies with calculated attacks and good spatial awareness of where my opponent was on the court. Just hitting the spaces is so important in squash. Just awareness of where your opponent is the whole time. The best players in the world do this so well. Ali Farag, the world #1, he's that good just because he knows where you are the whole time from you as possible. Like this here, I've showed that drop and just pushed it round the corner. The way you do that is it's like a sixth sense. You just feel your opponent. I felt him approach from my right hand side, and then I just pushed it around the wall, hitting a post onto the other side of the court. Yeah, those little things are what I'm trying to learn and what will help me improve. He's hit the back ball join again, happens. But anyway, yeah, I've got to give some credit to my opponent in the back end of this game, because he put some really solid rallies together with some nice winners to the back. And yeah, him hitting the join again was quite frustrating, but I just had to blank that from my mind. And anyway, he ended up with a 2-point lead at 8-6. So yeah, he did play the big points well, going for low risk shots and still applying pressure. Hitting kills is a good way to do this. So instead of going for like a really fine margin drop shot, you can go for some kills. That one is a bit dodgy, that stroke there. I don't know, he didn't really let me clear there, so it's a tricky one. But he's now got 10-6 up, and yeah, serving with 4 game balls. He hits a loose forehand kill, which I feel like I can get back. I think we're going to see it at some point. He is on top of me in this rally though. I'm just trying to get balls back. Not sure what he was complaining about there. Anyway, I'm trying to get in front. Both players trying to get in front. Hustling down the backhand side. Backhand is where most of the matches will be played. Lift when you're under pressure. Lift again. Poor. And he's got another stroke. Yeah. Anyway, this must be his match ball, his game ball now. Yeah, so I think I can get that back, to be honest. My opponents walked off court before the ref even gave a decision. The ref eventually gave a let. So we replayed the rally again. He had to come back on. But to be fair to him, yeah, he does end up closing out this rally with a very tight forehand kill, giving him the upper hand, going 2-1 up. There you go, big ball from him. To be fair, that is a very crucial game. To go 2-1 up is crucial. It's it's winnable, but it's just a lot tougher from 2-1 down. It's that mental sort of gap, and yeah, he let out some emotion there, which is fair enough. I started the third game positively, had a positive mindset. I knew that I had a successful game plan in the second game because it worked. I just didn't execute it well enough in the third game. So yeah, he's hit a couple of straight drop errors when he could have put me under pressure. So that's poor from me to give him those chances, but I was let back in by those errors from him. And yeah, we just go on to have a few more long rallies. He squeezed me there with a nice tight drive. Here I'm trying to be big around the middle. Get on this quickly. A little bit too obvious with the straight drop, but the accuracy was there, and thankfully I was able to get the winner. Now, there were a few stoppages such as this where arguments with the ref or going to the towel and stuff like that, and I assumed that the ball must have cooled down a lot. And there, as you can see, I just skied the return of serve out because I was telling myself to really hit through the ball because I thought the ball had cooled down, but it hadn't quite cooled down. Anyway, that gave my opponent a 10-7 lead, and after 2 let balls on match ball, there was a little bit of controversy with the referee regarding an out-of-court call. Now, the ref made a very late call to determine that my ball was out, handing the match to Rowan in 3-1 in quite a frustrating, decision-riddled encounter, to be honest. Yeah, it ended up with him stalling off court without shaking my hand, which wasn't great, but to be fair, at the end of the day, sport is sport and emotions are running high, and I can't hold anything against him there. It's just the way things go. Yeah, it was a tough match, and I'll now cut to my immediate post-match thoughts from Belgium. Alright then guys, that is definitely a tough one to take. Immediate reaction to that is sort of, I don't know how I lost it. I mean, obviously no one deserves to win, but I felt like I'd played better, but I obviously hadn't because I lost. It was a tricky one. It was like playing against, it's like he was playing a condition game. In training, we play condition games where you play like length game with a volley drop or length game with a boast, where you work on certain shots. It felt like he was playing length game with a stroke. I don't know if I'm just being a sore loser right now, but yeah, literally it felt like he was getting stroke after stroke. Obviously I'm hitting loose balls, so I'm giving him those chances, but God, he was good at jumping on me and playing the ref. But yeah, I mean, he had a solid length game, but that was about it. I felt like I was the proactive one. I was putting the ball in areas, and yeah, putting him under pressure. He did well by getting a lot of balls back, but I feel like I followed up on those balls quite well. The ones that he just scraped back, like I made him run. A few chances that I let slip. First game I built a bit of a lead and then ended up losing it like 14-12 or something. If I could have held on to that, yeah, that would have helped a lot. But yeah, tough one to take. I mean, regardless of him being the 1 seed, I knew I could have beaten him. But yeah, I don't know, hopefully that mini analysis follows what I will have just analysed on the YouTube video. But yeah, I mean, I felt like I was matching him around the back, and then I had better attacks than him, so it'd be an interesting one to watch, actually, just how he won that. I think, well, he didn't hit many drops. The only points he won were either very tight lines to the back, or strokes, or maybe a couple of errors from me. But to be fair to him, he did play the big points well. Like, it was neck and neck, neck and neck, and then suddenly, on those important points, he was able to shut me out, put that ball away, suddenly use cross-court kill, or just change it slightly. My holds were working well, but again, it's just reminding yourself to keep using them. You kind of get lulled into his like monotonous length at medium pace. You've got to, players that are good at that, you need to take them out of that rhythm. So yeah, next time I just really need to disrupt him a bit more. I did it really well in patches. Second game was pretty flawless. So yeah, I feel like I had the right game plan and I executed it well at certain points, but not for the whole game, the whole match. But yeah, I feel like it's quite clear what went well and what didn't for me. So I think I'd have a good shot next time, but yeah, it's just frustrating, really frustrating. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Okay then guys, so it's the morning after my match and I'm just taking a wander through Mons Market before heading home later. Yeah, I mean, reflections of the tournament. It's unfortunate actually that I won't be receiving sufficient ranking points to increase my ranking because I had to make the final to do that. Check out all these meets and stuff. Pretty cool, these places in Europe all have markets. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess you could say I gained some good experience playing against Rowan and how to deal with matches and stuff, because he was very clever with how he played the ref and yeah, I mean, yeah, it's solid performance from him. Yeah, I'm gonna head home now. I've got another tournament in 2 weeks' time in France. So yeah, back in Europe soon. But anyway, yeah, I'll leave you guys here in the market. Frustrating tournament for me, but we move on. I've got lots of things I can learn from that, so yeah, not too bad overall. I'll see you in the next one.